Oh, it broke. That's why it's not going in. So if you've ever had the opportunity to go to Hawaii, it's one of the most special places in the world, and you usually come back with a lot of knickknacks. So I wanted to build something that I could store all these knickknacks with from times with my family. So I hopped in the car, headed to Home Depot. I wanted to build something you could hang on the wall, so I'm getting a backing for it here. I want to cut it, make it a little smaller, so I'm switching out to a finer saw blade here. And there's pretty much the final shape. I have a ton of furlong strips left from projects long ago, and I saved the ones that tended to have beautiful markings on them, and this is a perfect project to represent Hawaii with. I'm cutting these into little 4-inch long strips. My thought is to make them into a herringbone pattern, which is, you'll see it here in a second.
Later.
You see the simple amount that I cut. I'm just randomizing them. I started putting them together and it was just, my brain wasn't functioning. And so I randomized them just by mixing them up. And here's the herringbone pattern. What's great about using this backing is I can just glue it right to the backing. And it's something I want to hang up like a picture frame on the wall. Each piece I wanted to give a little chamfer to, and so I'm just busting out the chamfer and doing a little tiny, I'm going to end up doing a little tiny chamfer here. I noticed there was a little rust on the piece, and so I'm just using a little WD-40 to get the piece off. Thankfully, it wasn't really on the sharp parts. It was more like just along the edges. And so before I used it, I just wanted to clean it up a little bit and make sure that the bearing in the middle was nice and lubricated anyway. They're older router bits, so that's just a cool shot. All the different pieces of wood there. And you can see I used that 90-degree metal angle to mask them all out.
3,000 years later.
I used that graphic because it took forever to glue all these pieces. Now I'm going to trim it a little bit. Starting with the bottom because I left a couple spaces there. And right here, I must have missed some sort of glue up because on the edge there, one of the pieces fell out. And on the ground, I found the piece I cut that it came from.